Hello, my name is Miss Helen, and I'm from the Vineland Public Library. Today I would like to share a story with you, and it is called Gumption. What does gumption mean? Gumption is a quality. Gumption means you have determination and you get things done. If you have gumption, you get things done. You tough it out. And that's what this story is about today. Peter is going on an expedition with his uncle, and Peter needs gumption to get through it. But his uncle is missing a lot of the things that are going on too. This story is written by Elise Broach and illustrated by Richard Gillespie, and I'll be reading it to you today with permission from Atheneum Books. But first, I need my hat. Now we can go. Gumption. Oh look, that's Peter and that's Uncle Nigel on a roller coaster. Don't worry, there's no roller coasters in this book beyond this page. Uncle Nigel was Peter's favorite uncle. He was loud, he was brave, he was funny, and he always let Peter stay up way too late. Don't you just love staying up way too late? So when Uncle Nigel invited Peter to join him on an expedition to Africa, there was no question what Peter would say. Of course he's going to go. Uncle Nigel is the coolest. On their first morning at Wanabutu Adventure Camp, Uncle Nigel said to Peter, "I'm going to make a real explorer out of you, my boy. Today we will search for that rarest and wildest of beasts, the Zimbobo mountain gorilla." "Wow!" Peter cried. "The Zimbobo mountain gorilla. Do you think we'll find one?" Uncle Nigel patted Peter's head. "Never know, lad. The jungle is full of surprises. Now tally-ho, it's a good 5 miles up that mountain." You're just starting now, but 5 miles is a long way. With long strides and swinging arms, Uncle Nigel led the way. Peter ran to keep up. They came to a dense thicket. "Uncle Nigel," Peter said, "I can't get through." Uncle Nigel winked. "Nonsense, my boy. All it takes is a bit of gumption." He took out his hunting knife and hacked his way through the fat, prickly leaves. Look at him cutting away. He's determined. Peter tried to follow. "What's going on? What do you see? What's that up there?" "It's got Peter." And Uncle Nigel, does he even notice it? Uncle Nigel stopped in his tracks. "I say," he cried, "snakeskin." He tapped a tree. There are snakes here somewhere, sly ones. Look sharp, Peter." "I will," Peter promised. Soon they came to a sun-scorched plain. "Uncle Nigel," Peter said, "I'm hot. I need a rest." What do you think Uncle Nigel is going to say to that? Uncle Nigel smiled. "Nonsense, my boy. All it takes is a bit of gumption." He took a long swig from his canteen and strode through the tall grass. What's happening to Peter? It looks like the elephant has him. Peter tried to follow. There's Peter on top of the elephant. He's being carried through. That's very nice. The elephant's giving him a ride. Does Uncle Nigel see it? Ooh, what's that? Uncle Nigel stopped in his tracks. "I say! Elephant dung!" He lifted his binoculars and peered in every direction. There are elephants here somewhere. Big ones. Watch your step, Peter. I will, Peter promised. He doesn't even see that. Then they came to a deep river. Uncle Nigel, said Peter, I can't cross that. Would you want to have to cross that river? Uncle Nigel grinned. Nonsense, my boy. All it takes is a bit of gumption. He took a life vest out of his pack and plunged into the dark water. You see something in the water? What do you see? There's Uncle Nigel. What's that? Peter tried to follow. Look at that. There's the crocodile. His mouth is open. Oh no! Oh, actually, he landed on him and he's okay. Uncle Nigel stopped in his tracks. I say! Crocodile eggs! He dug at the ground with his boot. There are crocs here somewhere. Hungry ones. Stay close, Peter. I will, Peter promised. What does the crocodile have? He's got his life vest. At last, they were deep in the heart of the jungle. They began the long climb up the mountain. The ground was rocky and steep. Uncle Nigel, Peter said, I can't climb all the way to the top. I don't think Uncle Nigel is going to like that. Uncle Nigel laughed. Nonsense, my boy. All it takes is a bit of gumption. He took a rope from his pack, threw it over a tree branch, and pulled himself up the slope. Is that the mountain gorilla? Peter tried to follow. Look. He landed on the gorilla. Now he's getting a ride from the Zimbobo mountain gorilla. That's awesome. Uncle Nigel stopped in his tracks. I say, footprints. That's ace, lad. The footprints of the Zimbobo mountain gorilla. Wow, said Peter. Uncle Nigel tapped a tree. He lifted his binoculars and peered in every direction. He dug at the ground with his boot. Look, he's right above him. He doesn't even see him. Poor Uncle Nigel. Then he shook his head. Nothing. I expect we gave them a fright and they legged it. Uncle Nigel, not to worry, Peter. Just think. We're standing in the home of that rarest and wildest of beasts. The Zimbobo mountain gorilla, said Peter. Uncle Nigel sighed. I'm sorry we didn't see one, my boy, but that's what you learn as a real explorer. You might not find what you're after, but it's always worth the trip. He looked at Peter. Bit disappointed, are you, lad? Oh, no, Uncle Nigel. The jungle is amazing. Look how amazing it is. Look at all the wonderful things. Look at all the things that these animals have taken from Peter and his uncle. That's the spirit. Are you zonked? Need a break? It's a good 5 miles back to camp. No, Uncle Nigel. I can do it, Peter grinned. All it takes is a bit of gumption. Uncle Nigel thumped Peter on the shoulder. Jolly good, Peter. Down the mountain we go. And don't worry, old sport. We'll try again tomorrow. And that is the end of the story. So while it's very fun to know a lot when you're on an adventure, it's also important to pay attention to the things that are around you so you don't miss anything. Well, I hope this was worth the trip and that you enjoyed reading about Peter and his Uncle Nigel. And if you want to follow us on social media, please do, so that you can find out more stories that we're doing and more programming that we're doing online. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.